Jerry Park.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pat Jones Oklahoma State football show. The final score was Texas Christian University 24, Oklahoma State 21. And Pat, it appeared to most people that there were two Oklahoma State football teams against TCU, one in the first half, one in the second half.
Well, my initial feelings, Jerry, were offensively, we literally stunk the place up in the first half. Made a change at quarterback that sparked us somewhat. Kind of got a little bit of handle on some things in the second half, got the momentum swung our way. Obviously had a very legitimate chance to win a ball game, and on the same hand, at times we had a chance to really get our sword broken. So I was proud of the way that we came back, had a rash of injuries in some areas that we really couldn't afford to have. We just handled it as best we could. Hard to win a close one when you got to overcome so many things, including ourselves at times. But on the same hand, I think there were quite a few guys that learned some things about themselves.
So in that regard, it was a positive in the second half, at least for you.
Well, yeah, from that standpoint, yes. Again, we're still feeling our way around, learning, trying to get the right combinations, having to play a lot of people at a lot of different positions. Really had to scramble on the sidelines most of the way throughout the course of the ball game. Again, proud of the way that our players and coaches coped with different things. I mean, we had a rash of stuff going on down there. And again, this one hurts, and it should. You get so close, it hurts you, and it ought to.
I can understand that. All Cowboy fans are feeling that way after the TCU football game. We'll get into the first quarter highlights when the Pat Jones Show continues in just a moment. It was a beautiful night for football. Oklahoma State won the toss against TCU, deferred to the second half, and Pat, as we pick up the action, TCU has decided to take the ball, and you're going to kick off.
Well, we were, again, wanted them to handle it first, still feeling our way, certainly at the quarterback position. Kickoff crew did a good job. I thought Ricky Myers did a nice job throughout the course of the night. They got us in a little bit of an unusual adjustment. We were having to be pretty conservative coverage-wise, Jerry, certainly because we were starting a true freshman there in Turquoise at strong safety. We just made a strong safety out of him during the course of the week, or attempted to. Again, you can see TCU. We didn't know who they were going to start at quarterback. Obviously started Matt Vogler, the guy that's been around a little bit. Lots of formations, lots of motions. I was really pleased with the way we handled the running game most of the night. You can see they're hitting it uncovered. Again, but this is part of the theory of this style of attack, kind of juggle you around a little bit. Here we replay, and that ball came ricocheting out right out of bounds. But I was really proud of the way that we played, by and large, played the running game, feeling like that we were going to be conservative in the secondary, make them hit some up in front of us, try not to give up a big play. This is what we're seeing right here. We're doing a good job of swarming the football. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys around the ball.
Now with a 3rd and 4 here.
Yeah, 3rd and 4. Again, they were getting in some no-back stuff, or without any backs in the backfield. We were trying to counter it with some substitution stuff until we started getting everybody hurt. Again, feeling like if we could make them throw this kind of stuff enough that they would eventually overthrow one or throw one to us. We're getting pretty good pressure right there. We had the thing covered pretty good. I had the feeling, even though that they had made a few first downs, that we were keeping people up in front of us. We were swarming the ball pretty well, giving some ground, but giving it fairly grudgingly. So when now they make a couple of firsts, we stop them, force the punt. Good job, Mike Clark, fair catch of the ball. Of course, it's not real good field position. We come out here and start Brent Scott at quarterback, 3-step. I can't say enough about Robert Kirksey, the leadership he's providing us, and the effort and all this. They'd run a lot of twists and stunts. You can see them doing this kind of stuff up inside. Good job here by Scott, come out just a little bit short. We're pretty piecemeal in the offensive line. Poor Matt Jones, we started him at tackle. We got a guy hurt, had to move him back to guard, and we've bounced him around 3 or 4 different places, and that's tough duty here. Not much. See that we caused a fumble right there, and the ball just bounced right out of bounds. But again, I was really proud of what we were doing against the running game. Here, 3-step stuff, throwing the ball up in front of us. Again, somewhat conceding some of this if they can throw and catch it enough. All right, got a little bit of pressure. He's trying to pull up now and throw on a scramble. Blackwell, the tight end, 86, has been an All-Southwest Conference player, is I think is really, really good for what they do. Here again, they try to run a hand sweep and make a yard. Played good-looking defense against their running game by and large. They hit a quick, little hitch-looking thing. You can see here, we're hitting them right about the time that he's catching the ball. Carlos Irving, we had started at corner. He has had a bad neck, hurt it in the first half. We couldn't play him in the second half. Good pressure there. Scotty Harmon, boy, you can't say enough about this guy. We had moved him to free safety during the course of the week. Has intercepted a ball in every outing. Got hurt, had to leave the game, came back. Guy's got a great knack for being around, being where he's supposed to. Very, very smart. Got a good feel for the game. He's going to do some things every now and then that are not real good, but not much of that. He's an awfully good little football player. Okay, Denson again makes a pretty good cut, runs up in there, makes some yards. Now his ankle seems like he'll get it a little bit healthier. We got lucky here. Ball likely got stripped from L.G. Thompson, but Denson's ankle is really in and out. It'll get well during the week or get better during the week. There we fired one right into the umpire on a crossing route. Nothing you can do about that. Just don't hit the umpire with it. TCU's all happy, and that's not anybody's fault, and that's just part of ball. But again, Denson, we'll talk a little bit more about. Hopefully we can get him a little bit better rested. Barry Vincent and the punt team come in. I thought we did a good job of coverage. Vincent did a good job of punting the ball. He is not a long-range guy, but we're really not giving up much return-wise. Hit a little bit of a cutback crease here. That was probably their longest run of the night. Again, I feel like did a good job playing the running game. Clarence Nobles is getting better at middle linebacker. You can see Funch is 57. We're playing him more and more and more. Okay, good job. Somebody's knifing up in there and making a play. That ball came out right there, and I thought we had it.
Third fumble.
Yeah, again, that's okay. Here they try to hit an uncovered again and threw it behind him. That's pretty hit and miss. But you can see we're mixing some three-man rush, four-man rush in, got people covered down the field. We got pretty lucky here. They got in behind us, and they overthrew it. But we've got them out of rhythm in some of that, in some of their throwing game. All right, force them to punt. Their punter did not have a good night. He started shanking the ball, which was a factor as things wore on. Okay, here's play action. Scott coming back, throws down to Burt Milner. We're going to see a replay of this. Burt really had a good night. I think the hand is banged up. It was really swollen after the game last night. They were getting a little bit of pressure on Scott, but not bad. Good job, Burt Milner. Good job,
Great
Scott.
Catch.
Yeah, very good catch. Milner is a guy that, when he's healthy, can certainly make big plays. Okay, we turn a guy loose on the perimeter. The running game stuff is certainly very hit and miss. So you can see them twisting and crossing up inside. Scott fires the ball deep. Their free safety makes a good play. We cover it. They've got the ball. At least we've got good field position here. Okay, they go back, and you can see him throwing. Fairly soft coverage, but we're still swarming the ball pretty well. Really, really scared. Good job here, man, against the run. You can see big 99 Wendell Gaines is enjoying things pretty good. He's learning. There's Clarence Nobles. Big hit right here. It fires our defense up. I thought defensively we kept a pretty good emotional level throughout the ball game.
Well, the first quarter ends with a scoreless tie. Oklahoma State nothing, Texas Christian nothing. We'll be back to take a look at second quarter highlights when the Pat Jones Show continues in just a minute. Welcome back to the Pat Jones Show. It's a scoreless tie as we end the first quarter. As we begin the second quarter, on that last play, Pat, it was a 3rd and 1, and you held, and that forced him to punt.
Yeah, it did. The thing that was concerning me at this point is our defense had been on the field an awful lot. Okay, here's Harmon. He's got a great knack on kick returns to hit a crack. Again, a great speed guy. We've got very good instincts and very good quickness. Our D, here's a replay of it here. You can see he's got a good feel for hitting creases. We had a middle return on. We did a good job of getting in people's way, and he almost came out of that. I was concerned again that we had really not done much. Here's Russell Barron. This guy's came in and played pretty well. But that our defensively we're starting to wear it down a little bit. Again, had not really had much consistency at all running the ball. Here's Scott coming. You can see a lot of pressure. Had no real time to do much. Has to overthrow it. We come in and punt the ball. Again, now we're going to give them fairly bad field position. Again, they've got it around the 20-yard line. Again, the major concern here was that our defense was on the field an awful lot. They had not done a whole lot of things, but that we were wearing down. At some point, Jerry, I was literally afraid that Michael Woolridge here.
Almost.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that could have been a walk-in for a touch. But we were getting banged up in the secondary. We were crippled going into the ball game. Down here in the fourth quarter, at some point, I can't remember exactly what it is, when it occurred, we literally almost ran out of bodies to put in the game. Terry Henley was hurt. Carlos Irving was hurt. Scotty Harmon was hurt. We were having to throw some people out there that were not as well prepared, and by and large, sometimes they did a pretty good job. This is a little bit of a case of it here. They got in behind us a little bit on a seam. That was the first big play that we had given up. I thought our defense was wearing down a little bit. Here he comes out on a boot. Okay, does a nice job. Good hit. Kelly Blackwell again. This guy's a good football player. He hunted me up after the ball game, and we were kind of talking to each other a little bit. Guy's really a good football player. For them, they go down in there, jump in there, Wishbone, which is their former short yardage. Now it's TCU 7, Oklahoma State nothing. Concerned again that we could not make much click in the offense. Concerned that we were starting, the injuries and momentum were starting to wear down our defensive unit again. Here's our man Scott Harmon hitting cracks, spinning.
Another great run back.
Yeah, really. Again, this guy, I just cannot say enough good things about him. Okay, here's Berrien again. Berrien, this was good for our football team, for him to come in and have a little bit of success running the ball, overthrow the post route there. Berrien does not have great flat-out speed, but he's got pretty good instincts. At this point, we felt like Scott was really getting rattled. We had told on the sidelines, hey, let's go ahead and put Kenny Ford in, try to get Scott settled down. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Okay, here they're coming back out, throwing short stuff up in front of us. There's Funches, several people around them. Again, there's an uncovered deal here. We were kind of getting in we got a couple of guys confused. We had extra defensive backs in the ball game. When we started getting them hurt, they even got a little bit hairier. There's that the quick screen that everybody in the world is trying to throw now, and it's a good little old football play. Again, not much with their running game. I think they ended up the night with about 68 yards total rushing, and that's counting some sacks. We had some guys slip down here, but you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys around the ball. I cannot fault us effort-wise there. A little bit of play action. Okay, here we go. Good job, men, on the getting around it. So you can see we're swarming the ball pretty good. There's Wendell Gaines. Here's a replay of it.
Your defense is really tired at this point.
Yeah, again, with the injuries in the secondary, as many times as we were rolling pass rushers around as best we could. There's Andre Thompson, Wendell Gaines, Jason Gilden, Brandon Colbert. Kind of a coverage sack here. We had him covered down the field. We get after him pretty good. I thought defensively we showed quite a bit of courage as far as just hanging in there, even though that we were getting kind of tired. There's a good job of Funches covering the little crossing route. They know what they're doing with this stuff, obviously. Now, of course, they had put Shade in at quarterback. We had Todd Fisher in at corner, and he's so scared that people are going to run by him. You know, now we're backed off of him pretty good. Get into a scramble situation. He finds the tight end down in the middle. They had played Steve Shipley, their veteran wide receiver, who's a kind of a tall possession guy that had orthoscopic surgery, came back. He and Blackwell really do a good job of sitting down in a hole and kind of working on things and just weaseling a way to get open. Now again, TCU goes down. It's 14-0. Not a lot of big plays. Again, we're kind of bending a little bit. Still felt pretty good about us defensively, although we're getting really, really beat up in the secondary, which is certainly affecting things now with some of our special team stuff. We're using Burt Milner. Some is on a kick return. Okay, here we faked the ball. We gave it off to Roger Franks. Okay, now here we go. We give it in there to Berrien and absolutely nothing. You can see TCU has given us a lot of different looks. This is a 3rd and short. It's 4th down in short yardage, and I literally do not have enough confidence in us to try to go for short yardage stuff when we're backed up. I'd rather play the percentages there on some of this, because I again do not have a great feel for whether we can block anybody or not when it really counts. All right, here's TCU coming out, and Shade's going back to throw. Throws back across field. Here again, Blackwell, boy, I can't. This guy's a good player. He's a big, strong
good
guy.
player.
Yeah, there's reasons that he was the leading tight end in the country, I think, last year. Big window gains. Again, starting to make his presence felt. Bats that one down. He learned a lot of things throughout the course of the night. Okay, good job here with Michael Woolridge. Again, Woolridge, he really plays hard. He's really a bright guy. Okay, we got some crossing stuff on there. You can see we got people taking shots at them. They're hitting the stuff. But we're not, well, at least we're not turning anybody loose in behind them. Good pressure. They're getting the ball off and making diving catches. Here's where we were really good job, Jason Gilden. Boy, that's the way Gilden just plays like a wild man. Forced to throw right there. Again, you're forcing them to scramble around. Shades going back. Pretty good pressure. They kind of rubbed off on us there, and we got in behind the block, and the guy, I thought he had scored, knocked him out of bounds at the 4. Again, now they run a boot. Do this on when we got in a goal line, and they do it on first down, and that's tough. You can see we've got Charles Werner in at free safety. Scotty Harmon is now out. I don't even know who all we had in there. Was scared to look, quite honestly.
It's 21-0 TCU, and they kick off.
They kick off, mishandle it a little bit, come up with it. Obviously, at this point, we're just wanting to kind of get into the dressing room, regroup, see where we are injury-wise, see if we can regain some momentum and go about it. But I was glad that half ended.
TCU leads at the half, 21-0. We'll be back to talk about what happened at halftime when the Pat Jones Show continues in just a minute. We're at halftime of the TCU-OSU football game. Pat, the time of possession was almost 2-1 TCU in the first half. What are you telling your squad at this point? Well,
it was asked me in the post-game press conference, Jerry, well, did you go in there and yell at the offense or anything? I didn't have to. Some of the seniors did it. We go in there and regroup a little bit as coaches, and regroup is putting it mildly. But I could hear Robert Kirksey, our senior receiver, and Pete Surrett, our senior center, and then they were frustrated. And on the same hand, it was we're a better football team than this. I didn't have to really do any hollering and yelling. And we pointed out a few things. We had to wait for word from the trainers and the doctors to see literally who could play. They were x-raying Scotty Harmon's hyperextended elbow, Carlos Irving's neck, and again, Irving wanted to play. We couldn't play him because the medical people didn't want us to, and we weren't going to. Yeah. Again, Terry Henley's crippled up. We're trying to get all our special teams juggled and then really try to figure out literally who can play back in there. Offensively, we're going to go with Ford. We're going to see what happens. Need to make something good, create something good early on. Realize that we've still very much got a chance to win the ball game if we can go out, get settled down a little bit, get our personnel settled down, and go from there.
Well, if whatever figuring the coaches did apparently worked, because it was the best half of football Oklahoma State's played this season, in my opinion. We'll take a look at that second half when the Pat Jones Show continues in just a minute. Well, the score is TCU 21 and Oklahoma State nothing as we begin the second half, and it was a little bit different OSU football team that came out on the field. Pat, as we pick up the highlights, you have decided to take the ball.
Our decision, we're going to take the ball. I cannot say enough about the crowd and the student body, Jerry. The Oklahoma State crowd very much stayed in this ball game. They're staying with this football team. You can see we got Ford in there, and we run a little bootleg, and he gets drilled right off the get. But I could hear the student body really, really getting involved in things. The crowd got the band, everybody around here. We're running. You can see with some bootlegs and quite a bit of play action. Good job, L.G. Thompson catching the ball. Okay, now, again, it looked like a worst-case scenario here. We've made a first down, and we misread a coverage and throwing out, and their kid makes a great break and comes in. This was a great defensive effort right here, great defensive stand. We've got people zinging around him. This is where I thought we really could have gotten our sword broken. Every right to, probably. We're down 21. They've intercepted on our end of the field. Great. Here's that little old screen again. That's a way to take a shot at him, Clarence Nobles. Now, we force them to a field goal. Again, a small victory here, but we're hunting small victories at this point. 24-0, a great job defense of coming in there. Again, the crowd was really supportive of this football team. And I just cannot literally say enough good things there. Burt Milner makes a good decision not to come and run the ball out. Okay, here's Berrien. Not much, obviously. But Russell Berrien, I thought, added a little bit of a spark. Okay, Kenny overthrew this. it doesn't appear really we can get much going still at this point offensively. Okay, throw a little check through here to Scott Copeland. We come up a yard short, and obviously, like, you know, it's go for it, and we're on our 25-yard line. And again, I don't trust us enough to have a real feel for that kind of thing. We punt the ball. Again, defense is back out on the field. All right, TCU runs a draw, makes some yards, but not much. Really didn't think they hit a few cracks, but they didn't hit very many. Great pressure here. A repeat. Here's Jason Gilden, Andre Thompson, Wendell Gaines. Okay, you can see him go back. We've got the people covered. He's having to pat the ball and hold it. Now that's the way to get your hand on him, Gilden. I thought as things wore on, Gilden really started to exert himself, and he is a guy that has got the kind of natural ability to do this sort of stuff. All right, here's a little screen to the outside. That's the way to get over there and take a shot at him, men. So I really got to give our defensive unit credit here emotionally. A little bit of a crack, but not much. And you can see we're getting guys swarming around the football. So emotionally, I really didn't. We withered a little bit defensively, but I didn't ever think we broke. Okay, there's Todd Fisher, I think, knocking him out of bounds here. They're making some yards, but they're not, that's a good hit here. You can see a repeat of this. Nobles, I thought, probably his best performance since he's been here. He's a guy that has got a little bit of ability. He can make some big plays. Okay, we're going with three-man rush. You know, so they've got us run off in the secondary there, and rightfully so. Here's the uncovered, and they almost throw the ball behind him. He makes a good catch. Again, as long as you can hammer away, keep the pressure on them, now they're going to start throwing the ball in the dirt sometimes. If you just keep on hitting them enough. Okay, here's a little crossing route here. You keep on hitting them enough and taking enough shots at them, eventually somebody's going to spit the ball up. Okay, they come back and throw the ball down to Blackwell.
Looks like a touchdown.
There, yeah, I know it. I can't tell what's happened from the sideline. Scotty Harmon now, who has re-entered the ball game with a hyperextended elbow. He can't hardly move it. They hit Blackwell. Let's see Harmon here. Okay, that's a way to take a shot at him, Scotty. And there comes the football. Again, if you'll keep on hammering away, hitting away. Okay, there's Jason, who was it? Gilden recovered that, and I think. All right, here's,
yes, it was.
Okay, here's Ford coming back. He's got enough mobility to scramble around, and he makes 6 yards, which is not by design, but at least he does. Okay, Berrien here. We got a big third down coming up.
3rd and 1.
3rd and 1. Let's see what happens here. Turn around, pitch it to L.G. Thompson on the sweep. Good, tough yardage. Again, crowd is being very, very supportive of this football team at this point.
Here's the long pass play of the season.
Okay, yeah. Throw a little stop to Dimitri Markham. Here's another second-year freshman. It makes him a guy miss. Robert Kirksey does a great job of just shielding the guy. Markham's off down the sidelines. Good job, Dimitri Markham. This guy's a pretty competitive little guy. Has not played a great deal, but is going to be a factor with our football team. Okay, now we run a cutback play. Berrien hits a little crease. That's a way to cut and slash Russell Berrien. Here's a repeat of it. Again, this is good for us. Berrien had been a little bit of a fumbler in two-a-days, and he's worked hard in practice, which we certainly respect. He's got fairly good instincts. Okay, here we run him again. Hits a little bit of a crack. Now we're down to the 3-yard line. All right, give the ball off to L.G. Thompson. Not much. TCU stiffening. They're playing pretty hard defensively. So now we come out. That's a good job, Roger Franks, getting people knocked down. Good job, L.G. Thompson. Good job, Robert Kirksey, adjusting his route. Touchdown, Oklahoma State. All right, here's the same play, I believe, coming up again. Kenny on the sprint. Robert has leaned into the guy and broke back out, and Kenny makes a nice throw. Okay, here we go. Now things are starting to get real interesting now.
24-7.
You bet. Come in, Ricky Myers, extra point. Okay, good. 24-7.
Crowd's getting more into it.
Yes, well, again, I've said this already, but I cannot say enough about the Oklahoma State crowd and the student body and the band and everybody that was there. He hit a little bit of a spinner here. They hit a little bit of a crack. Okay, there's Turquoise. Okay, good job, man. As only first kickoff, he's really mishit. Okay, he runs a little bit of a bootleg. Gilden's got fairly good pressure. We've got him covered. Now they overthrow the thing. Good job, Scott Harmon. Okay, you can see they cut Gilden at the bottom and throw a little bit of a quick screen. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys.
Closing in on that quick one.
Yeah. Again, we got pretty good pressure here. He gets to the outside. tries to fire one down the field. I could not tell. Literally, a great play by Mike Clark. I couldn't see us. I didn't know whether we had intercepted it or batted it down or what. Here's a replay of it. Okay, we got some light pressure on him. I think we were going with a 3-man rush here. He gets outside and tries to fire the ball deep. See what happens here. Attaboy, Mike Clark. Great play here. So now we've got some momentum. Again, the place is really getting lively. Kenny goes back. Good job, Burt Milner. Going to see her. Don't you spin that ball again. He's fixing to hear about that. Well, it should have called it. Yeah, it ain't the funniest thing in the world. He's going to hear about that here in about 3 hours. Okay, good job, Burt Milner, hanging on that football. You put the ball down and get in the huddle and let's get regrouped and go play and quit spinning footballs. Here's Roger Franks, big Roger, first catch here, and he runs over a guy. Again, I've said things that Franks is really doing a good job of things here. I mean, here's a replay, same play, little check through, delay. Good job, Roger. Let's get out in the open field. Boom, that's the way to. Here's 245 pounds, and if he'll keep on going, he's going to be a factor. Okay, all right, same thing again. We're going to see him 3 times here. Let's see him, boom, run over that guy right there, boy, Roger Franks. So it's happening pretty good here. All right, a little bit of play action. Throw out, good job, Mark Cheatwood. Again, here's our man Cheatwood competing hard. That receiver core, I think, by and large, continues to do some nice things, particularly competitive. Play action here. Again, same play by Ford. Feeling like we can keep some people, keep him off his back a little bit. All right, that boy Cheatwood.
And he's got a little time to throw.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Again, I don't think the TCU was not really backing off a great deal. But, again, good job of Mark getting open, sitting down where he's supposed to, protecting the football, and fighting for extra yardage. So we've got some momentum going. We actually got some things going. I was proud of our bench area of getting in things. So now it's 24-7, and things are really going to start happening here.
The Cowboys on the move. We'll take a look at the exciting 4th quarter of action between OSU and TCU coming up right after these messages. Welcome back to the Pat Jones Show. It's 24-7, TCU over OSU. 15 minutes to play, and 15 exciting minutes it is, Pat. Couple of 3 penalties. Let's pick it up with a 1st and 21 from the 29.
Yeah, we only had, again, I think 3 penalties for the night. Okay, little draw play to Berrien. Good job here. It's fixing to get real interesting down in here. Okay, here we go. Straight drop back. Again, Ford makes a good scramble. Let's get outside. Let's tuck the ball away. All right, that a boy, Kenny. Good job, Roger Franks, getting down there and blocking for him. Again, Ford does give us a dimension of things, being able to run the ball. We've got now Mike Butler, one of our tackles, is hurt. We've got Josh Errett back in the ball game. Now, we've had to switch places with Matt Joes, and this stuff is obviously not easy. Little half sprint, come out here. Okay, good job, Robert Kirksey. Nice throw, threw it low and away. We make a good catch. We're down in here. All right, here you go. Play action now. Comes back, hits Milner again for a short gain. So we're moving the ball, turn around and pitch it to L.G. Thompson. Not much. TCU's competing hard. We're competing hard. It's a heck of a football game at this point. Sprint out pass by Ford. Okay, throws it late. The other kid crawled up his back, and they made an interference call. All right, now we're jumping into power set. Give the ball off to Russell Berrien, right down to the 1. Here we go again. Give the ball off to Russell. That's a way to turn sideways and weasel through there. Touchdown, Oklahoma State. Again, the place is really getting loud. That boy Russell, that's the way to get through there. Run the Ricky Myers out. He hits it pure, 24-14, and it's going to get even more interesting from here on in. I don't know that anybody sat down from here on in, and the crowd and the band and the cheerleaders and everybody else is really doing a nice job of things. Okay, that's a good job of our kick coverage groups. They've just got it across the 20. Okay, good job. Satterwhite's boom, there we go from the backside. That's Chaucer Funchess again. I always two football teams, again, really competing hard. There's Satterwhite, there's Woolridge, there's Andre Thompson. Okay, they short yardage, they sneak it here. He makes it, but you can see with the action here how both squads are really competing. That a boy, Stacy Satterwhite. Good job, Andre Thompson. That's a way to get fired up. Again, I think we learned some things, right, same play here. I think we learned some things about ourselves in the latter stages of a close ball game as far as what sheer emotion will do for you. Okay, back to throw, good pressure. All right, they hit it in the crack in there, and we're still taking shots at him. He comes back, all right, tries to run a little counter play on him. Makes a little bit, but not much. That a boy, that's a good job, Nobles. I mean, this is really a hard-fought contest in here right now. I think by both football teams. Good play, Gilden. All right, going three-man rush. Fires it. Okay, here's Chaucer Funches. Again, let's tuck that ball away. He stiff-armed a guy right in here. Going to see a replay of it. I was standing on the sidelines, and here he comes. I was yelling, tuck it away, and here he's trying to straight-arm people. Okay, three-man rush. All right, good job. That's a way to be in your zone. That's a way to catch a ball. Okay, and he's kind of directing traffic here. That's a way to block above the waist. Now let's tuck that ball away. Don't have it out there. My goodness gracious. Okay, but that's a way to turn up field. That's a way to take shots at people. Third time again. Here we go back. And let's see, Funches, okay, catching the ball. Jason Gilden really did a nice job of covering Blackwell right there and forced that throw. All right, forward, big pressure, big pressure. There's Franks, the fullback. The referee started to call a grounding, but it made a nice call. Saw Franks out there. Quarterback draw here by Ford. Gets outside. Ford had run well against these people a year ago. Take care of that football, Kenny. Now we got it back. Okay, here he comes here. Good job, Bobo. Okay, let's go, Kenny. Let's get outside. Let's make something happen. All right, that's a good job, Robert Kirksey.
Good moves watching his block.
Oh, he's got some running ability. Now again, let's tuck that ball away. Tuck that football away. You see, they're trying to strip it. Okay, sweep to Russell Berrien. Not much. TCU's not withering in. I give their kids credit. They really fought hard. All right, here's Ford off a little bit of play action. They bat the ball up. Okay, now it's going to be a big third down play. Here he comes, a little bit of play action again. Okay, fires it. We had a guy open right here. I'd forgotten about this play. There's another turnover down there. We had somebody open and threw it in behind him. Try to run a cutback, but there's Funches and there's Nobles. There's Andre Thompson. Come on, men. Okay, Gilden slipped down. I thought we almost had him for a safety right there and overthrew the ball. Okay, here we go. Four-man rush again. Pretty good. There you go, Gilden. There you go, Gaines. Okay, that's a way to get after him. Here's a replay. You're getting it all right in here. This was real college football right in here.
This is a critical down.
You bet it is. Attaboy, Jason Gilden. That's the way to stay with them, Gaines. That's the way to take a shot at them.
Force the Frogs to punt.
Yep, they come back in, and he shanks a punt. Now we're going to get the ball with good field position right here. Get away from it. All right, let's see what we can do.
26-yard line.
Offensively, great field position. Come play action. Nice route, nice throw. Touchdown, Burt Milner. Again, he ran a little, what you call a post corner, makes a move in at the post and breaks back out. Kenny does a great job of throwing this ball over the corner and up in front of the safety. Burt does a nice job of catching it, getting it tucked away. Good play here, Oklahoma State. So we've countered real quickly. All right, we come in here, 24-21, and there's still quite a bit of time left. So it's really going to start getting heated up in here.
We pick up the action again, Pat. 2:24 left in the game. You have the ball back.
We've stopped him. We've come back. Okay, he hits there you go, hits a little pass down here to L.G. Thompson. Okay, now we're coming back and throwing. Yes, good job. Okay, got some pressure and threw it in the dirt. I thought Kenny was basically making pretty good decisions here. Sprint out. All right, he keeps the ball. All right, now it's going to be a 4th and 1 if I remember correctly. We run the blast option. Kenny kept it. Does a good job. Now we used a timeout in here at some point. We're not right now to keep things kind of under wraps. All right, Kenny. All right, there, tip ball. Burt Milner. Their youngster had a chance right here. Let's see that. Went right through his hands. About time something good happened to us on stuff like this. Burt Milner makes a catch. Now we're down inside, right on their end of the field. Okay, he's got a lot of pressure. Okay, throws the ball away. All right, here we come back again. That's a way to sit in there, fire. Great job, Robert Kirksey. All right, now we've got the ball to the 5 or 6 yard line, into the power set. Okay, boy, we threw a no-hitter. They're one of our tight ends, literally threw a no-hitter. It would have been a walk-in right there. Now, we were trying to get the clock stopped after that other play. Couldn't. I think there was a fumble that occurred in there someplace. Obviously, craziness going on. Game ends 24-21 TCU. Really a wild finish there and a tough loss.
Was a wild finish and a tough loss for Oklahoma State. We'll be back to recap the football game with Coach Pat Jones on the Pat Jones Show coming up in just a minute. Welcome back to the Pat Jones Show. The final score was TCU 24, Oklahoma State 21. But Pat, injuries seem to be and are still a problem. How about tailbacks, defensive backs, everybody?
Well, you could basically, you name a spot, and we've got some people crippled up. You know, really proud of the way that our players and coaches responded that is very hectic stuff during the course of a ball game. Again, we had talked about this, what happened in the secondary. Scotty Harmon came back and played the second half with a bad elbow. Carlos Irving could not play. Terry Henley could not play. At one point, Mike Clark went down in the second half. Now we had to take Turquette and put him back in at corner. I mean, we're really trying to wing it with stuff, both on the secondary and with special team. Mike Butler, one of our tackles, got hurt, so now we've got to switch a tackle back to guard, put another tackle in the ball game. Denson goes out, so now we're playing Berrien and LG some more. Burt Milner's hand is swollen up again. I don't know at this point how these guys are going to be. We'll find out, and again, we'll talk a little bit about the open date stuff, but I mean, unbelievably hectic, and again, that is part of emotion and how you cope with it. I was really proud of the way our people handle things on the sidelines.
Well, as Pat mentioned, there are some injuries and there is an open date. We'll talk more about that a bit later in the telecast. Coming up next, it's Pat Jones and Coach's Corner. We'll have that when the Pat Jones Show continues in just a couple of minutes. Welcome to Coach's Corner. Each week at this time on the Pat Jones Show, we'll pose a question to the coach, get his personal opinions on it. Now, Pat, this week a lot of strange and different things are happening in college football, most especially surrounding the three teams that you've played so far. Very interesting, Jerry. Relative scores, comparative scores, you don't know what to make of. The people that we have played are 8-1. Southern Cal gets beat by Memphis State. Slaughters Penn State, gets beat by Arizona State. We're upset at ourselves for some things against Arizona State. They go into the Coliseum again and beat Southern Cal. Tulsa gets beat by Kansas, comes back, and David Rader and his people, big win for them, beating A&M in Tulsa. Again, TCU is 3-0, and you could say from some ways we're very lucky to get out of Stillwater with a win. I don't know what that tells us other than that anything is liable to happen around the country. Central Michigan beats Michigan State at East Lansing. There's a lot of this stuff that is popping up, and I think that the whole trend of college football is that the unknowns and the unlikely things are popping up more rapidly. But again, I look at the people we've played and what they've done to other people, and it's real crazy. So again, if that tells us anything, I guess it tells us that there's a lot of football left. Literally anything can happen. On any given week. Next week, the Cowboys face open date. We'll talk about that, good or bad, when the Pat Jones Show continues after these messages. Well, it's open date, and I know, Pat, that sometimes you like open dates, sometimes you don't. I think this is a good news, bad news situation with the open date before Miami. Well, I think for us it's a good news situation, Jerry. Again, if you're a veteran and you've got momentum, you just want to keep on playing. Obviously, we're quite honestly neither at this point, although I think we have learned a few things more about this football team. We got to see where we are injury-wise, whether we'll give them a little bit of time off as far as, I'm not talking about time off, but time away from some hard contact. Again, the injury part of it's a factor there. I think we really got to spend some time now and try to isolate, pinpoint, evaluate, particularly offensively, now that we've got a little bit of a handle on things, who we want to try to feature, what we want to try to do, what we want to throw out, what we want to add to give ourselves a chance not only going into the Miami ball game, but for the stretch run of the season and getting into the Big 8, obviously. So we'll still continue to practice, dictated pretty much by the injury type situation. And then I really, really want to try to use it to get better. Now, again, I keep on alluding to the fact that we got some guys hurt. How much that keeps us from really getting better, I don't know at this point. I know we can go out there again and try to probably scale down or add to a little bit of what package we're trying to do offensively or what we're trying to get done. But you have to feel confident with momentum a little bit on your side after the second half against TCU. Well, I think from the standpoint of maybe what it takes to win, we're getting a little bit closer from an effort standpoint, from an emotion standpoint. Yes, I think we learned some things. Well, that's it for the Pat Jones Show for today. Remember, we will not be here next week. We will, however, return to talk OSU football against the University of Miami 2 weeks from right now on this station in this time slot. For Pat Jones, I'm Jerry Park. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.